Good morning, everyone. I just got back from a walk, took a cold shower, feeling great. Hope you are too. I wanted to make this video today on some simple tips that can help you take back your health and take back your life. COVID is a wake-up call. We need to focus on our health because there are some serious issues with getting sick and having many underlying diseases that can be prevented by just taking care of yourself. So I hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think. Tell me if you're gonna implement any of these tips. Thank you for watching. Let's get to the video. What's up, everyone? I hope you are doing well. I recently listened to a podcast with Aubrey Marcus and Sean Stevenson. On this podcast, Sean, who is a wellness researcher, talks a lot about the research around masks and research around health and COVID. He mentioned that the CDC came out with some of the statistics showing that only 6% of COVID-19 deaths were actually due to COVID. So I looked into the statistics the CDC came out with and found that for 94% of COVID deaths, people had an average of 2.6 additional conditions. These conditions include respiratory disease such as flu and pneumonia, cardiovascular disease, sepsis, diabetes, and others. So I wanted to make a video on some simple tips that I think can help reduce your chances of getting some of these conditions. Now, as you know, I have an underlying health condition, and if you haven't seen that video, it'll be linked right up here. And I've been applying these tips that I'm about to mention for the past about 10 months and haven't gotten sick once. So, first, let's look at our first line of defense when it comes to our immune system. If a foreign invader gets past our surface barriers, such as our skin, coughing, mucus, saliva, tears, microbiome, whatever else, then our innate immune system usually identifies this microorganism as a foreign invader and tries to kill it. The cells which are responsible for killing virus-infected cells are the natural killer cells. They look for cells that have low numbers of surface markers called MHC1, which can arise when cells are affected by viruses or the cells turn to tumor cells. So, if you increase your production of natural killer cells, we can reduce the chances of getting sick from viruses such as COVID. How do we do this? Tip number 1, which I've talked about in my previous videos, is being active throughout the day. One paper found that natural killer cells increased 60 to 63% above pre-exercise levels after exercise, but then fell 17 to 35% 1 hour post-exercise compared with little change in the sitting condition. So, if we walk a little bit throughout the day, multiple times throughout the day, our natural killer cell production will go up. I try to walk at least 1 hour every day. Usually it's around 2, broken up throughout the day. And when I do this, I actually feel really good. I also get out in the sun, which makes me wake up and also gives me more vitamin D. According to one paper, about 70% of people are vitamin D deficient and insufficient. There has also been a bunch of papers recently saying that vitamin D is an important molecule for your immune system and can actually help with getting over COVID. Tip number 1, move outside to get both vitamin D and better production of natural killer cells. Tip number 2, also talked about this in multiple videos. We all know that we should be eating healthy foods, healthy whole foods. If you haven't seen what I eat in a day, go here. And I am slightly modifying it as of lately, but I will keep you updated on that. One thing I want to stress about food is try to stay away from inflammatory foods such as processed foods, which also include rancid oils like canola oil and other vegetable oils. Tip number 3, you need to prioritize your sleep. Papers have shown that natural killer cells and your immune system in general are lowered when you are sleep deprived. We all know we should be getting at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night, sometimes more, sometimes maybe less, depends on the person. But some general tips on how to improve your sleep and things that I've found are helpful are making sure it is very cold, like mid 60s Fahrenheit, turning off screens at least an hour before bed, or wearing blue light blockers or these cheap, ugly work glasses that are orange that hopefully blocks out as much light as possible. I find it has a small difference, but yeah, try it out. Drinking a bunch of water and eating about 3 hours before bed. This way I don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go pee. I don't feel super full and I guess stressed trying to sleep. And the last tip I have for you for sleep is make sure you make it as dark as possible in your room. I have blackout curtains. Hopefully you can see them right here. I'm sure you've seen them in other videos. Without these, a very, very bright parking light would be shining into my room even though I have blinds. Sometimes I can still see it shine through. So make it dark. Like I said, all of these have helped me a ton for my sleep and feeling restful when I wake up. Last tip is stress. One paper found that people who are stressed had lower natural killer cells. A few things that I found that helps with my stress is going for a walk outside in nature. Also, you get the other benefits that I talked about. Being conscious about my breathing. So one thing that I've been doing lately is box breathing, such as 4 seconds in, 4 second hold, 4 seconds out, and 4 second hold, and then repeating. Also, breathing through my nose has been pretty helpful. I also recently had a friend who I talked to about his anxiety, and he expressed to me that he has had this anxiety ever since he was a young kid. It got really bad in middle school. He was basically misdiagnosed, given all these pills, and nothing helped. And the one thing that kind of keeps it at bay is being conscious of breathing. So breathing can be very helpful for your stress or anxiety. And to my friend out there, I just want to say thank you for sharing with me. I love you, brother, and I'm glad that you found something that can help keep your anxiety at bay. Change in mindset is another thing that can help with stress. So if I only worry about things that I can control and that I have control over, that would be better than worrying and stressing out over things that I can't change at all. So that one I'm challenged with very often, but I try to be mindful about that. Another thing is journaling. If something's really bothering me, I can write it out and put it on paper, and it really does help work through whatever I'm going through. And the last tip I have for stress is meditation. I don't do this very often, but something as simple as focusing on breathing for 5, 10, 20 minutes can be a very helpful thing, and I've been trying to get into it more. All right, so to recap, you can potentially decrease your chances of getting viral infections by moving throughout the day, eating whole foods, getting good sleep, and reducing your stress. I've personally seen and felt a huge difference when I've aligned all of these tips that I just explained, and I continue to tweak and try different things to get better with it each day. I will, of course, link everything, all the papers and the podcasts that I talked about below. Try some of these out. Let me know if they've helped. Try to align all of them and let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.